nobody really cares about agents in CS2, right? The only part you see on your own is your wrists, and if it does have any use, then it's really only a benefit to your enemy team, because now the enemies can differentiate you from the person next to you in the game. There's nothing terribly interesting about them, there's no floats, there's no patterns, no trade-ups, so what's the point of them? So in the grand scheme of things, they're pretty much irrelevant in a first-person competitive shooter. But they do exist, and over the last few months, they've become pretty rare, and combined with Chinese manipulation, we've seen a lot of the agent prices very, very starkly in a very short amount of time. But the recent market downtrend has disproportionately hurt agents. And while some of that downwards movement can be attested to the general downtrend of the market right now over the last month or so, what's with the extra selling pressure? Why is it outperforming in a negative manner the market's downtrend? So what's causing that? While we could speculate about insider trading, and it's probably a very real thing at this point, or at least a very viable possibility, I do think in general, people, and myself, are expecting new agents to be coming soon, probably with this Armory rotation. Now again, this isn't just really a guess, there's evidence within their patch notes, within the general state of the game that may lead to this conclusion, so allow me to explain. And first, we'll continue on that first point. The data, the graphs, the market, how it's responding, how it's treating agents right now in this state of sort of limbo, right? And as we said, some of this is normal, right? Prices go up quickly, they come down just as quick. There's always a cool down, there's always a time in which people take their profits, right? If you don't take your profits, then did you really make any money in the first place? So I'm not saying the price chart itself is telling you agents are coming, right? That's a normal market movement. What isn't normal is how it's outpacing the market's downtrend, even more so than things you'd expect, like cases being actively dropped, active dropped skins, etc. Because even though they're pulling back, they're still discontinued, right? There's no more coming into the game of these agents, and some of them are relatively rare. So this reaction is a little bit overstated for sure. What the price chart did was merely set off a light bulb in my head, made me think, why? Could they know something I don't? Maybe, but they might be just thinking what I'm thinking, the possibility of agents coming into the game. And it's also really not stupid money, right? If you are a casual player, you have two agents, one for T side, one for CT side. The majority of accounts holding agents are people that know what they're doing, at least in this market, accumulating shit, so they have a stake in this market, and them leaving agents is telling. Which leads us into Animgraph 2. And I know you've heard so much about Animgraph 2, you're probably sick of it at this point, so I won't harp on it too much. But I will give you a timeline, because it's been in the works for years at this point, and we actually got our first taste of it in July of 2025. While this wasn't the full release of Animgraph 2, we received an overhaul to the first-person animations of the game in July. We received an overhaul to the reloading animations, the pull-out animations for knives and guns. For the most part, it was fairly tame. We saw some market movements because the butterfly knife and the bayonet got absolutely fucking cooked by this update for at least a week. And you could tell when that Animgraph update was by looking at the graph of any butterfly knife over the last year. Then we have to wait around 8.5 months for the next update to Animgraph 2, which was April 1st, as we know, the release of the beta. Now this one, since the first person animations were already overhauled, the third person animations were overhauled, right? This was immediately felt in the game. The first person animations were completely aesthetic. The third person animations made the game feel much better. People have reported saying it feels a lot better, more like CSGO, a lot smoother, just a better feel overall. The third person, while something you may not pay attention to and see as much as the first person counterparts, this is the part of the update that actually mattered. This is the part that moved the needle. This is widely considered the biggest update we've gotten in the game's short lifespan. After about 2 short weeks, Animgraph 2 leaves the beta build and it goes into full release for everyone. So now, first person, third person, we have a full integration of Animgraph 2. Now, agents are a third person cosmetic. You don't see your agent ever, except for their wrists, unless you're using SV cheats. The only people who experience your agent are your teammates and your enemies, right? Agents live and die by third-person viewing. And so if you're Valve and you just rebuilt the entire third-person animation system, a project which probably took up most of your time over the course of CS2's lifespan, you've essentially built yourself a brand new canvas in which to show off new cosmetics, right? Now you can show off your knife much more. Your knife animations are clearly visible when you pull them out from the perspective of a teammate or an enemy. If you're a marketer at Valve, why wouldn't you release agents? This would be the time to capitalize on them, right? Otherwise, they just kind of come out and no one cares about them when they get thrown to the wind. But with a third-person animation overhaul, I think it's just in the zeitgeist of Counter-Strike players' minds right now. it'd be a good move. And in that 2-week time span in which Animgraph 2 was moving from beta into its final release, there were a couple of weird patch notes that didn't really make too much sense when the game was ripe with bugs and problems due to the new animation system. And that, of course, was changes to missing UI sounds. Now, the patch note itself doesn't really give on too much, but what people found it to be was the preview sound of the CSGO patch packs and pin packs. Skins.com is the newest sponsor on our channel. They have just released a P2P trading platform looking to compete with the best players in the space. If you don't want to wait that long, they do have an insta-sell feature on the site in which the rates are the best I've seen, just straight up. When the market is down, everything is on sale. And with the deals you're getting on skins.com, you could start your position basically up 20 to 25%. Try out skins.com and be a part of the future of CS2 skin trading. I will have a code soon, so stay tuned for that. Now, I know the pin packs have nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but new pins are probably overdue at this point as well, so maybe that could hint at something there. But we're talking about patches, right? Patches are stupid, everybody knows this, and if they didn't make a note of it in the patch notes, I doubt anyone would have realized for like a week or so. No one asked Valve why there was no sound playing when they clicked on their open patch pack button. So why are we addressing this in probably one of the busiest weeks in terms of fixing shit Valve has had in the past 2 years? So obviously, Valve could just be taking extra care of their game, paying attention to these small little details, which is completely fine, and obviously a good practice and tradition to upkeep within your workers. That's by no means something you can rule out, but it's harder to believe when you're adding these and making sure to fix these small details in a week in which you have billions of bugs to fix. Or they're releasing the audio layer, not necessarily as an overt hint, but it sort of feels that way, because there's going to be a patch pack and pin pack maybe in the future that's going to use these sounds, and it's going to be used and clicked on a lot more often than the ones that already exist within the store currently. And there's sort of a precedent here, I guess in hindsight, all those chicken patches on the update notes sort of led up into the release of the third-person Animgraph animations. I guess it could hint at pets, but I think it was more so hinting at the imminent release of Animgraph 2. So Valve is no stranger to putting like little tiny micro blips of information, sort of hinting at a macro project going on. That's the point I'm making with those patch notes. But if that's how Valve likes to tell on themselves and they start to reveal these patterns to us and we're right, then that's really good information to take with us to the future. Now this is where it gets pretty schizo. Cache. Cache has been around forever. It was released first in Source, it was ported over to CSGO in Operation Bravo, and it has lived in the active duty pool since Breakout until 2019. Now, what does Cache have to do with agents? Get ready, it's fucking kind of insane. Okay, so Cache comes out Operation Bravo 2013. Map is beloved. It has moved into the active duty pool alongside Operation Breakout in 2014. The game lives, coexists peacefully with its active duty peers for many years until 2019. It is removed in place of Vertigo in March of 2019, and in September it is revealed to have been overhauled in the now infamous Green Cache. Not long after, Operation Shattered Web is released. And Operation Shattered Web was the operation that introduced agents in the first place, and ever since Operation Shattered Web, we have received agents in every single subsequent operation. There have only been 2, but it's technically correct. Now I know not every operation has released agents, but every operation since agents have been a thing have included agents. And it's always weirdly tied with cache. A small sample size, yes, but a sample size that gives a 100% accurate reading. So we have Animgraph 2. We're expecting an Armory rotation. It's been taking a while, which could mean extra things are coming. Cache just came back. The game is in a fantastic state. Every operation comes with agents. Agents could be expected from a marketing perspective. You see what I'm saying? Now, realistically, we have an operation in the game. It's called the fucking Armory. All they have to do is slap a logo on the Armory pass and upcharge it by $5, and boom, you have an operation. Add 3 missions that aren't time locked, and there you go. So I don't really give a shit if they add an operation or not, but if they do add agents, they do have a very good in of adding an operation. The only thing that hurts that theory is the fact that operations typically come with maps. We have been getting maps already in the game, and they come with every premiere season. So it's kind of a weird timeline there, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. This is obviously an insane theory, so I don't really expect it to come true anyway. Now, let's get into the implications of this for the market. What if agents come out? Now, I think it'll have a very similar effect to what we saw with Dead Hand gloves coming out on the effect and how it and that collection affected the price of Generation 1 gloves, namely because they were the largest and highest market cap glove collection within the game. The current agent market is still wildly held up and strangleholded by Chinese manipulation groups, so it probably is not a good move to move in on them right now. In fact, it's probably not a good move to move on them until we get a confirmation on the Armory rotation, and if we do get agents, no go. If we don't get agents, then I guess it would be safe to put your money in, at least for the next 6 months until the next rotation. For now, the best move is a short in a way. You sell your agents and you buy back dependent on whether you get agents or not. It's something that not people are going to be paying attention to once the new Armory things come in. So if you could see what comes out, if agents don't come out, you could probably buy back in for the price you sold at. But if agents do come out, those prices are going to fly downwards very steeply, very sharply, and you're not going to be able to catch that dip. Selling now, buying back later would be the best opportunity for you, for they are still discontinued. They will still appreciate in price naturally, but they're going to appreciate from a lower starting point than where they are right now if new ones come in. Now, of course, some will stand the test of time. Number K, all of the Miami guys with wristwatches on, Getaway Sally, the NZ SAS, those are probably the most popular ones. Those ones will probably appreciate the quickest afterwards, but I imagine all of them even still will decrease in price if new agents are introduced into the market. In fact, they'll probably be replacements for these ones or substitutes in terms of wristwatches or a similar look, similar getup, etc. So there you have it. I don't give a fuck about patches or agents really. I think they're both stupid, but who can complain about new shit coming into the game? Not me. And from a marketing perspective, it would anger me if they didn't do this shit to capitalize for the sake of their own business, right? At the end of the day, I'm just talking about it from Valve's perspective because that's the best way in which to anticipate changes they make. They're a business, they want revenue, they want profit. I'm looking out for their best interest, I guess, while speaking about this, because that's the perspective you simply just have to have whether you agree with it or not. And taking an Armory pass, putting a logo on it, calling it an operation, might be the easiest cash grab of all time, maybe. Now, maybe instead of agents, they add pets, and I think that would be a pretty much one-for-one, even-ish type trade deal thing there we got going on. Because they would still show off third-person animations, I guess, in a way, and you would see them in your in-game screen or after the game. So I don't think that's out of the question, but agents just seems like a no-brainer here. And the fact that they've become so heavily increased in price means that the casual player can't just buy an agent anymore. I think it's now time for Valve to add new ones. But that's all for today. Let me know what you think. Later.